I'm here with Lorraine. Lorraine is one of our master practitioners, and she comes with us all over the world, and she teaches the Pelvic Restoration Masterclass. It's a 3-day class for women. Very knowledgeable, and she's a beautiful person. And understand something. Today, we just want to open you up to the fact that you have unlimited healing within inside yourself. When you change your beliefs, you change your world. When you change your beliefs, you change your personality. When you change your personality, you'll change your reality. I don't want you to focus on the beliefs that are screwing your life up. I want you to focus on the beliefs that are going to be gifting you, loving you, caring for you. That's what you focus on. Dr. Wolf, there's so many things I have to work on. I've got so many bad beliefs. I just know what. That's what you're going to have for the rest of your life. Don't focus on what you don't want. Focus on what you want. And picture it already being here. And then take that emotion and then just vibrate it like the loudest speaker right out to the universe so the creator of everything can give you what you deserve. What do you think, Lorraine?
That you said it perfectly. You know, our thoughts create our emotions that create the dis-ease in the body. And when we focus on the problems, we get more of it because that's where our thoughts are. Our thoughts dictate what happens to these beautiful bodies. So watch your thoughts, watch how you speak, watch how you view life, and start seeing the beauty and feeling the beauty. You know, get out in the sunshine, let it soak in, ground on the ground, do what you need to do, jump in the ocean if you can. If you can't, jump in a river, you know, and let that water wash away all the crap. You know, Mother Nature is a great composter. So give her the garbage. That's what she wants because she turns it into beautiful, healing dirt.
Just know this, everyone. All negative symptoms, and diseases are all produced from thought rot. That's right. It's called thought rot. Okay? So it's called stinking thinking. And you better mind your own business. And that would be about the loving and the caring. So this is Doc Talk Live. We usually don't do them this often, but we're going to do them as often as we need to clean up questions. What would you say? This is from Juliet. Just so you know, everyone, thank you, Rafa. Thanks for putting that up. We are on TikTok right now if you've got questions. We are on X, which was known as Twitter. We are on Rumble. We are on YouTube. We are on Facebook. And we're also on Instagram, but we can't take your questions now. But we're working on that and trying to figure out how we can get all 6 platforms that we can take people's questions. So if you've got questions, here we are. Start asking. I'm going to catch up with the last couple of days. What would you say about male infertility? Is it a belief system? Well, yes, there's an emotional attachment to it. Don't get me wrong, and this is not what we're talking about, Juliet, maybe with your beautiful friend, husband, whatever it is. But the reality is, let's say a guy went astray. Would he be able to get it up? Probably not. What if his wife went astray? Probably not. What if he thought his wife didn't love him anymore? Probably not. Okay? All right? What if your business wasn't doing well and you were a guy? Well, if your business wasn't going to do well, that usually doesn't do very well. So the reality is stress can make a mess, okay? And also, if you have any morals and you go astray, that might just cause you some guilt, and then that thing will just go and out of sight. So the reality is that frequency and vibration actually is what creates that circulation, okay? But the reality is on a physical level, just know this, it's pooping in the pelvis, baby. Your prostate sits just in front of the last 3 inches of the large intestine. How many times have you went to the washroom and you tried to just squeeze that last gold nugget out and it won't come? How many people go into people's houses and they'll see a bunch of books beside the toilet? Okay? And then how many people say, well, that's my kind of my meditation. I'm in there for at least 10 minutes to 20 minutes every day. Well, yeah. Well, that's because it's a glicky, sticky, dry mess. And it can't come out because you're not drinking the right water, enough water, and you don't have a whole plant-based diet that actually is going to create enough energy and high frequency to restore your peristalsis. What do you think, Lorraine?
That's true. We've got to make sure that we're well hydrated with water that actually hydrates the body, not water that goes in and goes out. We've got to be able to support all those cells and make it so that they're able to move properly and the tissue can move properly, because when you're stagnated somewhere, you've got a lot of stagnation happening in the body. So when the large intestine is the organ that's going to be the first domino to start going, we've got to protect it. We've got to come back to how do we get that large intestine functioning properly. One of the things you can be doing, the proper hydration, but you could be doing belly button therapy too. Belly button therapy is a great way to open up any stagnated areas in the large intestine, because you're going to be doing that belly button therapy and angling the tool in the direction that the large intestine flows. So getting, especially at the corners, the junction between the large and small intestine at the ileocecal valve, right above the right hip about, and then making sure that you're getting where the large intestine goes from being ascending to transverse. So from going up to across, and then from going across to down. And then there's a few other little angles at the bottom there. But, the belly button therapy is going to help you with that.
Absolutely. And just know this, everyone. When I tell people about daily cleansing tea, why did I call it daily cleansing tea? Because you can take it daily. Most of you will only go and take something that's more laxative. It could be natural, Cascara sagrada or senna, which are not good for the large intestine. It'll tear it apart after a while. Or it could be X-Lax, which will definitely tear it apart because that's a poison and your body just wants to get rid of the X-Lax, so you get rid of the loose stool. Or you could do daily cleansing tea, which is inexpensive, and you could do a glass in the morning and a glass at night. And you'd never have, I'm telling you, you wouldn't be overweight. I'm telling you, you wouldn't have cellulite. You wouldn't be fat. You wouldn't be bloated. You wouldn't have varicose veins because you're pooping in your pelvis, so that's why you have varicose veins. Okay? You wouldn't have swelling of your feet, swelling of your abdomen. And the only reason why your abdomen's swelling and by the end of the day it's 2 inches, your waist is 2 inches bigger, is because you got gas ass. And the bad bacteria are gassing off. They're called endobacterium. And that's because you're rotting. And the reality is if you want to get rid of 85 to 95% of your symptoms, the ones that you keep complaining about, your low back problem, your kidney problem, your swelling feet, like I just said, lethargic, then you'll take the daily cleansing tea twice a day. And if you don't want to make the tea or take the tea, then do the daily cleansing tea cap. There's no stimulants, there's no laxatives. But the daily cleansing tea will work on all 7 of your detox organs, gently supporting them and cleansing them, not just the large intestine. And you can do it for life, and you're only going to become stronger and live longer. And that's the truth. Daily cleansing tea caps, I use those when I'm traveling or when I can't make the tea, but I take it. I'm a lean, keen muscle machine. I'm not saying that but I'm toned for my age. I'm slim, I'm trim, no cellulite, no brown spots, which are not aging spots, which are not sunspots. It's mold. And it's actually because your liver's becoming an oldie, moldy, goldie. Thank you very much. And that's because you've been backing up in your large intestine. And if you could add some black gold, a teaspoon twice a day, black gold, and you can actually add that to a blender drink, excuse me, and black gold will restore the good bacteria in your large intestine better than any bacterial product on the market. Look it up. It's humic fulvic, and our humic fulvic is the only humic fulvic that isn't treated with chemicals on the planet. Isn't that something? Go figure. So I would really take a look at that. And the reality is this. How does it feel when you're bloated? How does it feel when you're sluggish? How does it feel that you feel full, but you're hungry? Well, guess what? Let's get the cork out, okay? I mean, we're talking about 30 to 33 feet of digestive tract, and let's not lock the back door, okay? And understand something. I can tell you a little story, and I'm going to do this as a one-a-day on Thursday or Friday about this little girl, 3-year-old, who's got cancer, and she's getting chemo right now. For 3 months, her daughter was sick. I said to the mother last night, I said, calm down. I'm not going to tell you everything we talked about. I will on my one-a-day, and I'm going to shock you when I go through some things. Probably get myself in a little bit of trouble, too. Who knows? It might get taken down, but I'm going to do it anyway, because those are we risk because we want people to know the truth. But the reality is I said to her, please give this some thought. What were her bowels like? So she told me her bowels were great. And then she explained to me what her bowels were like. And guess what? You're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe it. And I can be challenged on this anytime you want. Anytime, everybody. I'm up for the challenge. If her mother would have been doing a warm water, structured water enema with tummy love on her daughter, twice a day, where we showed her the routine of belly button therapy. We showed her how to massage the tummy. We would have gotten rid of the rot that was in this little girl's intestine. And she would have felt so better. The little girl has leukemia. I said to the mother, no 3-year-old has leukemia unless they've been emotionally traumatized. Well, there's been no trauma in our life. I talked to her for 20 minutes over supper last night when I was having supper. And guess what we came to realize? Mother's a stress monkey and doesn't even realize it. So the little girl took on all this stress. And that's the truth. I've worked with leukemia in children more than you want to shake a stick at, because when I was 28 years old, my father got leukemia. People don't believe this, but we got rid of it the first time in 5 weeks. Oh yeah, we did. I don't have to lie. And I'm doing the same thing I do today that I did then. Because my father never wanted to change his belief systems or the way he ate. I won't get into that. That's another story. It came back in a year and a half. You don't change your personality, you don't change your reality. It took us 3.5 months the second time. Third time it came back, they found him on the floor. He was no longer here. It's something that you don't realize that you have to change your personality. What you all think that your personality was God-given? No, it was man-driven. You are force-fed your personality. You don't believe me? From 0 to 7, you're like a sponge. You take in everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Then whatever happened from 0 to 7, you become that. And then you think that's your personality. Whether you believe this or not, you come and take a whole life coach certification from me. I change everything. We change your world. We show you how to go in and brainwash yourself. You need to. You need to decide what the prominent and dominant beliefs you're going to run off of for the rest of your life if you want your life to change. What do you think, Lorraine?
Yeah, it is our prominent dominant. The things we think of most are the things that we get. You know, those thoughts, we create our life. And all we have to do is change the way we're thinking to get the better life that we really, really want and deserve. And does it take time? Yes. Does it take work? Yes.
Does it take patience? And does it take, I love you so much? You're talking to yourself. I love you so much. You're off the hook for everything. I will stay connected to my breath. I will have a slight smile on my face and know that I love you. You are not forgiven because you will never be judged again.
Exactly. Dive deep into that Braveheart 12 loving steps. Once you're done that, then go and do the master class.
And it's in the PDG guide, right? The
It is
12 loving steps. Can we have a shot on the guide, please? So here's the guide. And Rafa, can you bring up the slide to show the guide? Thank you. Slide to show the guide up on the screen. Thank you. So understand, everybody, that if you like the 12 loving steps and you want to get the guide, you can download it or you can buy this guide for $95 delivered to your door. I promise you it is worth its weight in gold. And if you like that much, then go to my library and do the online, it's all video, online Braveheart Emotional Masterclass. It's a 33-day class. And it used to be $1,200 and it's absolutely free. I have 15 master classes. They're all for free. Understand something, unless you want to take massive personal action and think that you're worth it, you'll never do it. And we have been taught that we're not worth much, eh? Not even a nickel 95, and that's only $1. And I'm telling you something, you need to buck the system and you need to start loving and caring for yourself. Lorraine?
Yeah, we are definitely in a messed up world, and we really have to take our power back. And the only way you can do that is by coming right back here and understanding how beautiful these bodies can work when we give them what they need. And that's on a physical, an emotional, and a spiritual level. We need to come at it from all angles. That's when that's when the body heals. That's when the body says, oh my gosh, you love me. I get to do this. I'm going to love you back. We're going to heal. It's the body that does the work. All you got to do is supply it what it needs. And that the protocols that are in that Perfect Day manual are so beautifully done. And, anybody could understand it. You just have to dive deep and want that, and really hang on to that. We have never been in a situation where we've had so many people with critical diseases. We've never had that before. And we've got to be able to rise up above this because our body can heal from everything. It just depends on where your belief system is and how much you love yourself. So work on that. Work on absolutely everything that you can to move your vibration from that low vibration to a higher vibration. 1% a day. Keep doing it. How do you eat an elephant? It's one bite at a time. You're not going to eat the whole thing. It's just way too big.
Thank you, Lorraine. I heard you say you're doing a whole life in Kelowna in June. However, I don't see it on your website. We're not doing a course in Kelowna in June. There's no courses actually going to be happening in Canada. Okay? I have to tell you that most Canadians, they're in fight, fright, and freeze, aren't they, Lorraine? And the reality is I'm only going to come up there and do a lecture tour. The first lecture I'm doing is in Calgary. What's the date we're going to be there?
April the 10th, which is a Wednesday. It's starting at 6:30 with the meet and greet, and then 7:30 is your lecture, Reverse the Irreversible.
Rafa, bring up that slide, please, about my tour.
And then you're going to be doing a day with the doc on April the 13th, which is a Saturday, from noon until 4. And for both of these events, it is by donation. So, and we've got a minimum of $5 all the donations are going to Gems for Gem, which is a charitable foundation here in Calgary that supports women who have been in abusive situations. So right from finding a place for them to live, supplying them with food, educating them. There's a scholarship so they can go back to
school. Did you find it?
And
there it is. Keep it up while she's talking. Keep it up while she's talking.
How they're going to support their families. in a new environment. So a really good cause. And I'm looking forward to hosting Dr. Wolf coming here. If you are interested in coming, please give me a call, or you can sign up by going to I think it's under bhnuniversity.com. You can sign up for the lectures there too. But you can give me a call, 403-605-9216.
Thank you, Lorraine. Will you bring up the slide so I can go through it? Okay, there it is right there, everyone. I'll be in Calgary, Alberta, I'll be in Saskatchewan, and I'll be in Kelowna, British Columbia, and these are the lecture times. Take a snapshot or go back and take a look at it if you'd like. This is the only time that I'll be in Canada this year. We will do a course next year, but it probably won't happen until, I would say, well, it won't happen until next year, probably until next April. So that'll be the first course we're going to do in Canada. And we have a course coming up in Stuart, Florida in June. And it's filling up really fast. That's the last course of the year in the United States, everyone. So go to bhnuniversity.com or braveheartnation.com. And then we will be in Australia in August. All right? I'll be in Australia in August, and I'm doing a full course there as well. So the full course in Stuart, full course in Australia, that would be Whole Life Coach certification, Wolf Non-Surgical certification, and Lorraine's 3-day course, the Master course, which is the Woman's Pelvic Restoration course. And then we're here in Ixtapa in October. And just know this, Ixtapa is our headquarters, our world headquarters here. And I'm opening up what's called Wolf Studios, where we'll have 6 different sets, and the Braveheart Nation app will be out in 2 to 3 months. And we'll have the most powerful health truthers in the world on this app telling the truth. No one can shut me down. Nobody can shut me up. And we're going to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God. And we're going to be doing at least 3 to 4 courses here, plus master trainings in Ixtapa, Zihuatanejo, Mexico. We also have a retreat center here. If you take a look here, up here, you'll see we on the slide behind me, Rafa. So we have personalized healing relaxation getaways, advanced water fast, organic juice, health and healing retreat. And we have 6 different personal treatment and trainings where we teach people Wolf Non-Surgical, and we have the pain-free pregnancy. We have the couples training. We bring the thunder down. We have Cellsonic here, Cardio Med Bed. We have all the energy medicine equipment, and it's a beautiful 5-star resort. Okay? Thank you. Okay, so where was I? Let's move on. Just going through the questions. I already answered some of these yesterday. I would like to sign up for the Wolf Non-Surgical in Florida. I will be flying from Virginia. I do need to bring my massage chair and bolsters. So what you do when you call is just call extension 1-855-900-4544. It's right on the website, extension 1, and ask for Cynthia. And we'll let you know what equipment we're going to need. We have most of it. We have mats, we have bolsters. We'll ask some people to bring some equipment, but this is why we're going to only be doing courses in Australia. Eventually, it's just Australia once a year. We will be doing courses in Ixtapa mainly because people love it here. It's the safest, most beautiful place I've ever lived in my life. And we can give people the royal treatment without gouging them financially, and that's a real big deal for me. I want to give everything I possibly can so that people leave here going, oh, what a healing, oh, what a training, what a treatment, right? And we're also going to be doing trainings every year in Kelowna, British Columbia at our fulfillment center there. And we have a new fulfillment center in Texas, near Prosper, Texas, and we'll be doing all our US trainings there. And the reason why is because we can keep the costs down. And we actually got our own fulfillment center, because if we didn't do that, we're going to have to put our prices up by 20-25% like everybody else, but we're not going to do it. So we're pulling all our products out of 3 fulfillment centers, and we're coming down to 1 fulfillment center that we control. And that's going to save us enough money that we will have no price hikes this year. Okay? All right, Daryl, please come to Toronto. Well, it's like this. I will go anywhere that my practitioners want me. All they have to do is just pay the airplane ticket. I charge nothing for my lectures. I charge nothing for my lectures. We just want the plane ticket covered, okay? And I will be there for anybody and everything, okay? As much as I possibly can. My 70-year-old dad has got excruciating, we did this yesterday, sciatica. Please talk about fluoride and how structured water system gets rid of it. Well, let me just put it this way, guys. The best way to give you an example that a structured water unit does not get rid of fluoride, it changes the frequency and makes it non-toxic. You might even still smell it, but it's non-toxic. That's real science. Thank you very much. Not that other stuff. And I'd like somebody to try to prove that I'm lying, because most people are going, that can't be true. But understand, how is it that when it rains, and we've got the chemtrails, we had acid rain, heavy metals, we got all kinds of poisons in the rain. Why isn't it not killing the birds, bees, flowers, trees, and microorganisms? Because it's structured. Thank you, Creator. Well, guess what? This structure never breaks down, needs no filter. I go around the world. I don't buy bottled water. I'm not a fool. I'm not going to buy bottled water in a plastic jug, even in a glass jug. I will just, now you're going to think I'm a real fool. I'll put this underneath a tap, and I'll run tap water through it. And then after I do that, I put it into my cell power vessel. Go on my website, store.docofdetox.com. This, and also a cell power vessel, gives you the best water in the world. It'll outshoot Kangen, it'll outshoot ozonated, it'll outshoot any bottled water you buy, Fiji water, alkaline water. Well, that's not very smart. Even though everybody drinks alkaline water, it's not very smart. When your stomach's acidic, what are you trying to do? You can drink acid water at 6 pH. Okay, you got all these people out there talking about alkaline your water. No, you want alkalining in your body. It's eating alkaline foods. It's having an alkaline mindset, okay, that you're not stressing yourself out. But alkaline water causes trouble. And now I'm going against everything that everybody's been taught. Isn't that something else? Well, why would you dump? I mean, like Kangen people will tell you to drink 9.5 pH. If you've got cancer. Really? That's what you want to do? You want to dilute the stomach acids so now they can't digest properly? Seriously. I don't know where people get this information from. It's the craziest thing. Anyways, check out Fourth Phase Water. Check out Dr. Gerald Pollack. Okay? I mean, he's done all the studies. He's from Washington University. He proves it. Okay? It's called Fourth Phase Water. All right? And the reality is you don't have to remove the toxin, the heavy metal, to actually have it neutralized. And understand something. But hasn't frequency always overpowered everything else? The psychological rules the biological. Vibrations, everything. Just know that. Okay? Please send me info on how to clean the large intestine until I get the new book from you. Well, right off the bat, the first thing you want to do is get daily cleansing tea in black gold and start drinking warm to hot water, structured. And then if you can afford it, get yourself a cell power vessel. You'll see it in the PDG guide if you download it. And you'll also see it at store.docofdetox.com. And then why doesn't anybody and everybody that has different units like reverse osmosis, which is dead water, which is not hydratable, which makes people sick, distilled water, same thing, okay? All right, makes people sick, thank you very much. Carbon water, you get carbon addicted. I do use a coconut carbon filter. That's different than a charcoal filter to filter my water at home. So I will tell you, I will do that. On the road, I don't though. Okay, let's move on. You know, you're either going to believe me or you're not. That's really where it is. Is there an Airbnb in Stuart, Florida where the trainees can stay for a better rate? No, you've got to shop around, Leonard. And if you want, why don't you call Debbie? She can help you, or Dina, because they live in that area. They're going to be able to give you places to stay. They might even know someone that can actually rent out a bedroom to you. So I would do that. Call Dina or call Debbie. Can you bring up the host slide and please show that while I'm talking so they can see the phone numbers and grab those? Okay. Denise, uncle has catheter removed after knee surgery. Still can't pass water. He has to have the catheter back in. Anything we can do? Well, first of all, he has to have the, okay, where's the bladder sit? Does anybody know? Bladder sits just in front of the prostate. Prostate sits just in front of the large intestine, the last 3 inches. If he doesn't want to clean out his bowels, and if he doesn't want to do the ultimate coffee enema, and if he doesn't want to get on a perfect day diet, you know what he's done? He's rotted out his pelvis. Do you know why he can't go to the washroom? Infection creates inflammation. Inflammation creates scar tissue formation and calcification. He's calcified the valve. And he's got scar tissue in the valve. If he did non-surgical and actually got some Celsonic and did those things I just said and got on daily cleansing tea, black gold, even if he does nothing else and he starts pooping, he doesn't poop right. We know that. He doesn't eat right. He's dehydrated. Okay? And so I will never have a bladder infection. I'll never have a prostate problem because I take daily cleansing tea every morning, every night. And when I travel, I take the daily cleansing tea caps. This is not a sales pitch. I'm the guy that has 95% less symptoms than everybody else. And I know it's the Holy Grail, is the large intestine, and he wouldn't never had a bladder problem if he didn't have a large intestine problem. End of story. Oh, and I just want some doctor or somebody to come on and debate me on. Come on. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. When I was 26 years old, I ran the North American Institute for the Advancement of Colon Therapy. Not me being cocky. This is just the truth. Guess what? Ready for this? I was 30 years old. My book that I wrote on colon therapy and how to treat the colon was used by a group in the United States Senate on colon cancer. So the reality is this, is if you don't want to honor, love, and respect the Holy Grail called your large intestine, it is the first domino that falls with everyone. I don't care if you've got boogers in your nose or you've got fungus in your toes or anything in between. It's your large intestine. It's the Holy Grail of everything. And that is the God's truth. Lorraine, what do you think? You're the pelvic queen, Lorraine.
Absolutely right. That is the start of all the problems. That, like you said, it's the first domino to go. So we've got to learn how to respect our digestive tract, the entire thing, so that everything can flourish. So right down from what are you eating? You know, are you eating raw and fresh? You know, that's got a lot of fiber in it, and we need the fiber, right? And are you hydrated? And what, like Daryl said, what kind of water are you drinking? You know, let's bump it up a notch to make it so that the body doesn't have to work so hard. So getting that structured water unit, that portable one, I stayed in Mexico for longer than we had the clinic there. And all I was doing was using the portable water structure unit and the tap water. And I had no problems, you know. And now that we've got the cell power, that's bringing it up a notch.
A notch. No, everybody, between the structure unit and the cell power, there is no higher frequency, higher healing, more potent water in the world. And I love somebody to come on my show and before you do that, I want you to, if you're a practitioner, you can come on 2 weeks from this past Monday. And you can come on, and if you're not a practitioner, you can come on the practitioner training. And then we are going to be live 2 weeks from yesterday at 1 o'clock and 7 o'clock, and we'll be going live all around the world about cell power. And Lorraine, she needs to take that back. It doesn't bring it up a notch.
No,
There is no advanced water energy medicine system that does what this does in the planet, on the planet. And that's a fact. And I'm only correcting her because who wants a notch? No, it takes you all the way.
so it's beyond Thunderdome. And it's gonna rock your world. And then, of course, you want to make sure that everything is flowing properly in the body. So everything is transitioning in a good, timely manner. When you don't food combine properly, the digestion starts to slow down. When you don't chew properly, digestion slows down. And when it slows down and it's churning, it starts to putrefy. And now you're feeding the bad bacteria, the fungus, and the parasites. The worst predators are the fungus, because they're the ones that drill the little holes in the large intestine. And then anything transitioning through the large intestine has the opportunity to fall into the pelvic bowl. And, it's not just women that have this problem, it's men too.
Prostate cancer in the last 10 years gone up 400%. You think about that.
Yeah.
What is the fastest growing cancer with men? Rectal and colon. And it's mainly in the first 4 to 5 inches because they can't let go of their shit. Emotionally or physically, men are very stubborn, and that's the truth. Women are more flexible with their learning. Yes or no, Lorraine?
Yeah, we tend to look a little bit deeper into things to find out, how can we help ourselves. And I think for most women, our biggest push is not helping this person here, it's helping the others that we think need our help. And quite often, they don't want our help. So work on yourself first.
And understand something, everyone. You've got 2 things that are coming up against you. Your addictions, which you say you have none, but you do. Okay? And the next thing is that your value. Most people aren't worth much. Okay? This gentleman with the bladder infection, is he worth spending $300 for a structure unit that will actually create 1,000% more hydration in his body? And then would he go and order a cell power that will actually bring up the highest vibration and more hydrogen than any other vessel that you can make hydrogen in? It also has 10,000 different healing frequencies in it. This is real science. Don't tell me about how much you filter your water. That's absolutely not where it's at. Don't tell me about how high a pH you drink. Tell me about how low you drink. Tell me about that you drink 7 or less. Then I'm telling you right now, we're all being, okay, so we have those that rule us, they give out the information, and then we have the herd going and blapping it off to everyone. That's it. Do we want to stay alkaline in our blood? Yes. Does drinking alkaline water help the blood? No. Does drinking 7 or less pH help the blood? Yes, because it doesn't dilute the acid in the stomach, which is the first place it goes. Let's forget the programming. Let's look at the logic that 1 and 1 is 2, not 11. Okay? All right, so stroke damage, paralyzed arm. Let me tell you something. Anybody that has a heart attack, anybody that has a stroke, as soon as you do, if you don't do an advanced water fast, or you don't do a whole plant-based diet, and you have to leave out the lentils and the beans and anything hard to digest, you need to be on a lean, keen, high vibrational diet, because your body, if you're eating anything that takes any energy, because you don't have any. Tell me the last time you saw a stroke victim, okay, they are a victim because of their personality, You've seen a stroke victim or a heart attack victim that actually had energy. So do you think you should give them something that takes energy to digest? And the more you cook, the worse you look. The more you fry, the sooner you die. So most people with a heart attack are in the hospital. Most people that have a stroke are in the hospital, and they're eating worse food than McDonald's or comparative, right? So the reality is this: when you have a stroke or a heart attack, just remember why you did. You had a stroke or a heart attack because a little piece of calcium actually cut an arterial, okay, and then there was a blood clot that went. And people don't know that most heart attacks and strokes are caused because of that. Oh yeah, there's probably plaque in there. I'm not going to say there isn't. And plaque is actually just calcification and cholesterol. And the cholesterol was there to goop up the cracks because of the calcification that was being pulled from the bones going into the blood to keep the pH alkaline, because if it drops slightly, you go into a coma. If it drops a little more, you could die. And there's a real true story about this. Okay? So I guarantee you, anybody with a stroke, they weren't told that it was actually a blood clot that actually was released because of a little piece of calcium that actually got caught in a crack in the arteries because of the minerals that were being pulled and because of the acidity that actually caused this little crack in the artery. That's why the body makes a lot of cholesterol to goop up those cracks so the calcium doesn't poke holes to create the blood clot. So, anybody that has a stroke or damage, guess what they need? They need Wolf non-surgical on the spine, and they need it up at the brainstem, and they also need Celsonic, okay? And if the person has a cardio med bed, we'll put them on that to start getting their circulation back, and we'll use the Celsonic to bring the electrical vibration back to the person, okay? Because it's a scar tissue issue and it's calcification that the paralyzed arm won't work anymore. The nerves aren't dead. The nerves are choked by calcification and scar tissue formation. And understand something. If I don't get amazing results with you, a person like this, don't pay me. Don't pay me. If anything, it'll teach me a lesson for my big mouth and cause me to dig deeper and find the real answer, because guess what? The human body's amazing. All we got to do is get rid of the blocks. Whether you're talking about arthritis, whether you're talking about your bowel movements, whether you're talking about a fungal problem, sinus problem, it doesn't matter what the problem is. It's all physical blocks. Physical blocks of mucus, crystallization, scar tissue formation, calcification. And like I said, my phone number is 469-861-8884 if you want to come on my show and teach me a lesson if I'm not telling you the truth. Okay. Lorraine, what do you think?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, all we got to do is honor our body and come back to it and give it what it needs. That's it. That's the simplicity of it. You know, I took a lot of courses on nutrition and supplementation and a whole bunch of other things, and they made getting healthy complicated. And it's not complicated. Our body is complicated, yes, but supplying it what it needs to do the complicated work is not hard. It's not complicated. So let's get back to simple. Let's get back to what Mother Nature actually gave us with hydration, proper hydration, and you know, foods that are still in the packages that Mother Nature gave them in. We haven't manipulated them at all. Those are the high vibrational ones that we need to help to build back the body.
Build back better.
I almost said that.
I know, I could see it. And guess what? I said it and I'll never say it again because it's ridiculous. And the majority of the population believe in some fairy tale future when they need to be in the present moment and own it. All right. Good afternoon, Dr. Daryl Wolf. Can extensive Wolf non-surgical treatment can be done completely on continuous days? You could do non-surgical on continuous days, but like Lorraine said, okay, so just know this. We have a lady that, we have a personal treatment and training going on right now, but we have another lady that has, a beautiful lady that has flown here just for treatments. So she came and she goes, I need this, 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 this. So what do you do as a practitioner is you look at the person and go, you know what? We'll get it all done. I said to her, is there any chance that you can stay for 3 weeks and actually take some time for yourself? Because you don't know the backstory. You don't know the backstory, and I'm not going to tell it, but she has went through hell because she's made herself responsible for everything that's gone wrong with her family. And she's destroying herself. That's God's truth. She's destroying herself, and she's a beautiful woman. Oh my God, she's such a beautiful woman. But if she doesn't get over this stuff, you know, and stop thinking that it's all about the suffering. But the reality is, I told her, I said, look, well, Dr. Wolf, yeah, but you know what? I've got such a pain in my groin, and I've had it for so long, it just drains me. I've got to get rid of it. I've got to get rid of it. And my hip is killing me, and my low back is killing me. And you know what I said to her? What we're going to do today is we're just going to take the first treatment. And I took maybe 40 minutes. And what I did was, all I did was this. All I did was this, because guys, we know our stuff. I did 150 pulses of the Cellsonic around the right side, around her SI joint. You know, when you go to a chiropractor, you go like that, and he tries to push back into place, and then it pops back out in a few days, and you got to go again. Because it's all full of scar tissue and calcification, and he doesn't even know that, or he does, but he doesn't know what to do with it. And I'm not picking on him either. So now, I go in there and I do 150 pulses of the Cellsonic. I go in there with the non-surgical. I bet you I wasn't in there 20 minutes at the very most. Never touched her hip. Never touched her groin. She lifts her knee up and goes, I haven't done this in 10, 20 years. I don't even know how long. I have absolutely no pain in my low back and no pain in my groin. I go, and that's enough for today. So I worked only an area this big, and I said, it's going to be tender. So let's just have you relax and chill out. And then guess what? And then we'll go do the other hip. And the other hip she had replaced. And because she replaced the other hip, this one's going to go too, because her needing a hip replacement was not the answer. Oh my God, please. Everybody, you know what? You pick the therapy that matches the love you have for yourself. Yeah, okay, sold by the pound, and that's the truth. She never ever had to have that hip replacement. She knows it now. She knows now she doesn't need to do it, because guess what? If I wouldn't have done that little bit of work on her, if she would have went to a lot of other body workers, she'd have the pain. In her mind, it's like, boom. No, holy smokes. I promise you that if she allows me to work on her and she stays long enough, she hasn't got any more pain. But is she going to change, okay, the way she terrorizes herself without knowing it? She doesn't know it until someone shows it. Because you think your personality is some God-given thing or something, when it was just something that you picked up from 0 to 7 because you were a sponge. And whether they treated you or mistreated you, you know, that was life, because, you know, went from 0 to 7, you actually don't have any filter. Your personality was actually created by the psychos that you lived with and the psychos that you went to school with, or the person that told you that this is what God is, or this is what God isn't, or you got to believe whatever they tell you from 0 to 7, and then most people will never go in and unravel this stuff. They'll just think that's their personality, and they'll suffer until they leave. What do you think, Lorraine?
It is our programming that we are so ingrained in that we don't even realize we're doing it. I mean, I remember, I think it was the second whole life coach that I did with you, and you said that I was a victim. And I sat with that for a while thinking, I'm not a victim. And then probably later that day, I thought,
did you swear at me behind my back or call me down or anything?
no, I actually just took the information in, and I sat
because you know I've been told to.
With it.
I've been called everything, and that's okay. You know, I'm going to tell you, I have people that actually have left me and on the way home, and they'll call me a few days later and they go, You know that I actually swore and said the F word about you, and they did, and guess what? Now that I had time to think about it, you weren't trying to hurt me or injure me. You were just trying to give it to me. You weren't trying to put me down. You were trying to raise me up.
Yeah. Because it's just like anything else. You can't see the forest for the trees, right? If you're entrenched in it, you don't realize all the things that you are doing. So having someone from the outside give you a little bit of help, even if you didn't want to hear it, that's what it was. And then I realized, yeah, you know what? Yeah, then that's how I live my life. And that's why I had the life that I had that I don't have anymore, because I'm done being a victim.
Okay. Nita, hello, Dr. Wolf. My 8-year-old has eczema all over her face. I give her tummy love, and you also give her flour products, you give her sugar, okay? And what she's got, now I want you to say this. My 8-year-old has a fungus face. My 8-year-old has been getting antibiotics. My 8-year-old is also doing maybe dairy, which is inflammatory, and if it's not organic dairy, then it's full of antibiotics. My 8-year-old has been doing animal products, which are full of antibiotics. My 8-year-old, we give her yogurt every day, and the yogurt is completely full of antibiotics, and it's full of dead cow's bacteria, but I give it to her because I want her to have bacteria. And then I give her the pasteurized dairy that is very acidic, that throws her pH off and inflames her bowel and even helps the fungus grow even more. Nita, if you want to bring me a picture and you want to come on and do a live, I'll do a free consult. I'm not here to pick on you. We've all been bamboozled. If you want to write down and be honest with me and write down everything she drinks and eats, okay? And then just all you have to do is show me a picture and I can tell you what her personality is. Just show me a picture. And if you want to give me just a history on her and what she eats and drinks, I promise you, I'll bring the thunder down, and I mean in a beautiful way, and that's it. But the reality is I got to tell you something, Nita, and you can believe it or not, but 9 out of 10 husbands will balk at what I'm going to try to tell you how to heal your daughter because they don't want to change their diet. And then their subconscious will say that I'm full of BS, okay, because they're addicted to the foods that they're eating, and that's the way it goes. And, human beings are not very intelligent, okay? They've got a lot of information, but they're not very intelligent because logic has to prevail, but they don't. Let me just say this. When is the only time that people actually will make changes in their life, usually? I can't take it anymore. I can't take the pain. I can't take this anymore. Or they're down on their knees begging God, please. And then they hear voices, and then they get their answer, and then they move forward. And the reality is we've all been programmed to poison ourselves and each other. And the reality is how are we going to help this little girl if the parents don't want to change their diet either, just because that they don't have the symptoms that the little girl does. We may find out that this little girl is a blood type A or a blood type AB, and the parents are O. And then we're going to find out that the parents are numbed out to all these symptoms, but because it's an 8-year-old girl, when she has a symptom, it's blown out of proportion because she hasn't told her body to shut up as much as the parents have. Oh, seriously. Oh, everybody has had symptoms. And just like any other relationship, your 8-year-old has a brand new relationship. It's only 8 years old, and her body's still saying, you're out of alignment, sweetheart. You're not eating right, okay? And you're going to get symptoms. But guess what? The parents were supposed to be taught that if she has this symptom, then you know where it's coming from because of it's the diet or it's stress, emotional, nutritional, or physical problems. But because parents are not taught anything about how to raise children, it's not your fault, but we're not. Holy crap, seriously? We get out of school, we can't do our own finances, we don't know what we want to be, we're scared crapless, but we know that we want someone to love us because we want that unconditional love that we had when we were just babies, but we lost it. So, and then we want to get married because we want the love of a lifetime, and then we want to have children to fill up our hearts, but we don't know how to feed them, we don't know how to love them because we don't know how to feed ourselves or love ourselves, and it's not your fault. But if you want to put this information down, you want to call me at 469-861-8884. I'll do a consult. This isn't about embarrassing you. This isn't about you not being a good mother. You are a beautiful mother. But guess what? How do you like it, eh? Everybody's been said, here's your health manual, and it was written by Big Pharma. Okay? You're going to find a sliver of truth, and then the rest is going to be telling you, no, please take that slide down. And I'm talking about Big Pharma gives every woman, every man, every parent this health Bible and says, this is as good as it gets. Here you go. And then we just do it. If you want my help, let me know. If you don't want my help, come on a show, okay? Then you can get a consult from Lorraine or some of the other master practitioners. Go to docofdetox.com, consultations, $150, and you'll get lifetime telephone support with that. We will answer the phone as often as you call. And you better call often, and you better be a detective, and you better challenge us, and you better challenge the beliefs you have because they're hurting you. Okay, let me see here. What time is it? Okay, we've got only a couple of minutes. We'll be back on Tuesday, though, with another Doc Talk at 1 o'clock. And then the following week, we'll be back on Doc Talk at 1 o'clock, and I'll be showing you between the structure unit and between the cell power that we are talking about the most healing waters you can drink on this planet. Thank you. Dr. Daryl Wolf, is there any way to heal brain damage done in properly applied TMS therapy treatments, which is currently causes unbearable pain by high sensitivity to radiation? Yeah, it's called MCT oil C60. It's called doing 1 teaspoon every 2 hours and doing that 6 times a day under the tongue, holding it. C60, okay, is the highest vibrational nutritional you can put in the human body. It is 270 times stronger than vitamin C. It will reprogram the whole brain. I know what I'm talking about. And if you've got brain problems, you better be using Tesla glasses. Oh, I must have changed my shirt and took my glasses off.
Here. I got mine.
Yeah, and you know what? When I'm on the show here, I mean, I wear them all the time because blue light, it burns your brain out and destroys you. 10,000 teenagers are being diagnosed with cataracts every day now in North America. Are you getting this? That's blue light poisoning. And understand something. There is a species on the planet that feeds off our suffering. Oh, for God's sakes. The government doesn't work for you. The medical system doesn't work for you. Who works for you? You need to work for yourself. You are being poisoned at every avenue because they live off your suffering. And if you don't get that, so all the bitching, all the complaining, all the protesting, who cares? How about just loving and caring for yourself and doing the things you need to do? Because these guys, they could have put frequencies in the computers, in the light bulbs, in your phone, on the iPads, on the Xbox, and they could have put frequencies in there and made them all energy medicine generators. No, they're feeding off of us. And then all of the other so-called human beings that are high up in authority, they've been bought off. They've been bought off, and guess what? That's a low vibrational being. You know what? If you admire people high up in government, if you admire people that have anything high up in government or the medical system, you must be out of your skull. You're out of your skull. What, another medical breakthrough? When was the last medical breakthrough? Why don't you tell me? Cancer, we got chemo. For every frickin' infection in the world, we got antibiotics. And they've done more damage than they've done good, and that's the God's truth. Which is currently causes unbearable pain by high sensitivity to radiation. Well, the reality is are you drinking the right water? Are you on a whole plant-based keto diet? Have you actually purged your colon and your liver of toxins? Do you even know how to do that? Do you actually monitor your brain? That's the old me. No, I'm not drinking that. No, I'm not eating that. No, I'm not thinking that. I am beautiful. I love and approve of myself. There's a new sheriff in town called Unconditional Love. No, nobody's going to guilt me into doing that. No, I'm not playing the judgment game. How about that? How about snapping yourself back to the present moment and own it, and actually loving yourself and not giving a crap what anybody else thinks, but give lots of craps because you don't want to be full of it, okay? Anyways, just know this. Most people are never going to pay for a consult. Most people are never going to download the Perfect Day Guide, which is absolutely free. Most people are not going to go into my library and look at 15 different master classes that I've spent over $150,000 producing. Nobody's going to do this. Not nobody, but the majority are never going to do it. And it's not because they're dumb. It's because they've been programmed. They are food for a system that needs to be fed. I had Cellsonic. This is Susie. I had Cellsonic for my gallstones. Anything else I could do to take that I'm not already? Yeah, it's your diet again. And can you do me a favor? Can you look up Dr. Hulda Clark? And I want you to do her gallbladder liver flush, okay? And it's using olive oil. But before you do that, you can also take pectin, eat lots of apples, drink organic apple juice. But make sure before you do all of this that you're cleansed your colon and you've done the ultimate coffee enema. And then when you do her gallbladder flush, all those stones will come out like jelly bellies. Okay? End of story. Go check it out, love. All right. Lorraine, is there anything that you'd like to tell everyone?
You know what? These bodies will perform beautifully when we give them what they need. All we've got to do is change our attitude, raise our vibration, and really love these bodies. You know, I counsel people all over the world, and most people can say they love who they are. Some people can say they love what they do. Some people are in it for the money. But if you've got a condition in your body, you are not loving your body. Do not. You wouldn't have it if you were. So
and understand
that self-love.
Yeah, and understand, I don't mean to cut you off, Lorraine, but I want to say when she said that a lot of people are in it for the money, they don't know that. They've been just taught poverty consciousness. We don't dislike them, and we love them as much as we love the person that says, guess what? I am abundant. I can share everything that I am with everyone, and I will be looked after by the universe. So you can be into money and believe that you can't make enough, and I guarantee you won't. You can be into healing and say that money doesn't matter, and I guarantee you you're poor. You understand something? You make it up, that's what you're going to get. You throw different beliefs into the pot, you stir it all together, throw it into the oven, you're going to get what you put in there for ingredients. You don't want to know something? I am going to give more than any other practitioner. I'm going to give more away for free than any practitioner because I am abundant. And abundance will always be mine because there's enough of everything on this planet and enough of everything in the universe, and you forgot what you are. I am not this physical body. But I will tell you one thing, I am going to look after this physical body. You will never see me with a disease. You'll never hear I've got a cold or a flu. I may cough because I talk too much or I didn't drink enough, okay? Or sometimes I overdo it. God, with a personality like this, just think if I didn't have the right beliefs, I'd be dead already. That is the God's truth. Lorraine, would you like to end the show today? Because I'm just going to shut my mouth.
Okay. Just know that you have the ability to become your own practitioner. Nobody knows you as good as you do. All you've got to do is center and come back to this body and start using the information that's provided. Go into the library and start looking at things. You know, if you don't understand how the body works, then the highway to health. Um, Holy crap is another good one. Become number one at the art of number two, all of these things. And then start with that emotional work because the emotional work trumps everything. So let's get that right too. And then clean up your diet and help, detoxify your body on a daily basis and really come back to loving yourself. That is the whole thing. All we need to do is supply the body what it needs, detoxify on a regular basis, and love ourselves back to health. And you know what? 3, 2, 1, we've got this.